This video, understandably, is going to raise some eyebrows. So I'll start off by saying I'm a part of the American right. I'm a conservative, and I've made videos about the left's blatant racism, but sometimes it's necessary to call out people in your own camp or on your own side of the political aisle. And I was actually pretty disappointed because I got some gold recorded on a screen recording from a Spaces group chat, and then I realized that screen recording doesn't capture the audio on X. So I was left with around 15 minutes of pure nothing. But let's just say if the audio had been recorded, it would have been similar to the statements on these pop-ups. Things that just a few years ago would have been crazy to almost anyone, such as Holocaust denial and outright appraisal of Adolf. I found this to be incredibly disturbing. And you might say, these are some fringe guys on X who don't really represent a large segment of the American right. But this guy, let's pull up his YouTube, he's got over 15,000 subscribers. And here's the crazy thing. See that 2 right there? His first channel, which was much larger than the second one, was banned from YouTube. This guy had hundreds of thousands of people tuning in. And again, even hundreds of thousands doesn't even really equate to more than a few percentage points of the American right. And I know how tiring it is for blue-haired, brow-burning Starbucks baristas to constantly call people on the right racist. You've heard it a million times, and you don't really want to hear it anymore. But I think if we aren't careful, we might end up in a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. The truth of the matter is, people are tired. Terms have even come out for this. People are tired or fatigued of certain groups. And more specifically, because those groups often have accompanying behaviors that are, well, rather annoying and sometimes criminal or dangerous. Here's another retweet from the same guy. This honestly makes me sad. And again, I'm not saying that all conservatives feel this way. In fact, most of them don't. But here's another screenshot. This faction of the American right, the racist one, even has problems with other Republicans, mainly due to their support of Israel. So actually, this segment of American conservatives, at least the ones aligned with figures like this, are definitely a minority. But I think conservatives would be lying to themselves if they said that after years of phrases like white privilege and straight white male being turned into an epithet and DEI policies that blatantly oppress European Americans, that they don't feel some animosity. And I think that's completely normal. In the face of some of the worst racism European Americans have faced in this country, white people are fed up. They're tired of being blamed for everything, for things that happened when they weren't even alive, and they're tired of being shamed for the color of their skin.
Y'all have been painting me villainous. I'm not the one setting fire to your villages. I'm not the man that is raping and pillaging. I do not care if my neighbors are immigrants. Maybe all whites look the same and you think that I'm somebody else. So it's cool. Honestly, I think that everyone looks alike if they aren't white, and I'm sorry, it's true. Straight white male. I have it all, I'm the one that you love to hate.
And honestly, I think if you live in America and don't see the blatant racism white people have been facing over the last decade, you're living in an alternate reality. But white people, dear white people.
Dear white people.
I'm kidding. In your understandable tiredness, do not become the monster they made you out to be. As tempting as it is to say, you know what? I actually really don't like this group of people. They commit most of the crimes. They victimize people. They live off the government. And quite frankly, they're racist. As tempting as it is to throw the baby out with the bathwater in this scenario, please don't do it. And there are a few reasons why you shouldn't. First reason is that it would prove them right. All of the names they've called you over the past few years, you've always had the moral high ground because none of it has been true. If you give in now, you no longer have that. Second reason, the progress we've made in this country where we judge men by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. We don't ever want to lose that. That's an extremely valuable thing. Thirdly, and this is sort of beside the point, but without minorities, Trump wouldn't have won the 2025 presidential election. We need to remember that. Loads of Hispanic and African Americans, mainly males, and this Arab right here, voted for Trump. If we give in to the left's rhetoric, we risk alienating millions of people who are finally waking up to the left's virtue signaling hypocrisy. And lastly, and probably most importantly, racism is antithetical to the Christian faith, which many people on the right adhere to. Jesus was brown. The apostles are from modern-day Palestine. The gospel makes no distinction between race or people groups. The racism Americans have been wedged into on both sides of the political aisle is something that's being forced on us by media narratives specifically designed to divide. Controlling the masses is easier when the masses are divided. And if conservatives give in to the temptation, it will irrevocably harm the cause and make us easier to control. And that's something we don't want. If you enjoyed this video or would like to see more conservative political commentary, do me a favor and subscribe and hit that bell icon to stay tuned. If you want to see more content, check out my content library in the description below.